All right, welcome to Menu Heroes Digest. Yay!
We got special guests here, though. If you watch our shows enough, you'll hear kaiju plenty of times.
I'm sorry, baby girl. Here, you keep licking my hand. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
we've got some drama going on today. Don't you try to leave.
All right.
So, our first story for the day.
Yes. And there is nothing so far Legend of Zelda related. It was St. Patty's Day a couple days ago by the time we recorded this, so I thought I'd go green.
Alright, so GenPop Interactive. This is a new development studio by BloodPop. BloodPop has partnered with stars such as, Britney Spears?
No, it was Beyonce and Lady Gaga.
Same thing, one of them, I guess. I don't know. They're all iconic.
If you listen to a Britney Spears song and a Lady Gaga song, you tell me the same thing.
They're
well,
not.
You are crazy.
They're just both iconic, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway, BloodPop is partnering with Aubrey Tennant, who is a former DNA and Bandai Namco executive, and they are forming a AAA game studio, which is quite the claim, but you can claim what you want. So, more than 25 developers have signed on, including some who have worked on Halo Infinite, The Sims, and Cyberpunk 2077, which I'm not exactly sure that gives them the best track record, but at least it's better than having people who haven't developed at all.
Yeah, and again, obviously we've both had very bad experience with Cyberpunk 2077, but I've heard from people that have sworn up and down, like, no, they've actually been making strides to better update and fix the many problems with it, so it's getting better.
I love you.
And it's a game that I think has a lot of potential. It always had a lot of potential, but just the developers tried to rush things out just to appease their investors, and everybody suffered, including the poor developers who had to crunch extremely hard during the beginning of COVID.
And so their first game will be a third-person shooter with, quote, novel movement and combat mechanics targeted at Gen Z. So the quote from them...
This feels like... I'm sorry, it feels like, how do you do, fellow kids?
It really does, though. Gen Z is eager for a new IP that speaks to them and has a long legacy that defines their generation. Major studios have become complacent, relying on giving the Weekend at Bernie's treatment to their old IP with their publicly traded necromancy. We aren't just on a mission to create the next great game, but nurture the next generation of popular culture.
But the way to do that is to make a great game.
It just sounds like cringe the way they said it.
Yeah, because, any generation, Gen Z, Millennial, Gen Y, your first step is to make a good game. And if it has elements that appeal to a certain demographic, okay, fine. But, it's like the reason the companies pull a Weekend at Bernie's, because usually the original was really good. And they can't seem to find any new ideas to continue, so that they just keep bringing back old properties,
or people are wanting those old properties to come back.
Yeah, Scream is a great example. I've seen it twice in theaters, and it's filled with a bunch of teenagers who either have never seen the other previous movies or just marathoned it really quickly, on a week or something like that, and they love this new one.
Yeah, everyone complains about Hollywood rehashing IPs, but they're the ones who also want more of that IP. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation no matter what.
And plus, we do get new stuff like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Totally new, not based on anything, purely the vision of two directors. Became a big hit for the company, A24, and ended up winning a bunch of Oscars just last week. And another new movie. Again, I don't mean to keep just bringing up movies, but like...
You watch movies.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Well, okay, I'll remember a game.
You're the movie guy.
Pizza Tower. That is a brand new game. A brand new game that like is not based on anything, but has gained a big following, and it's growing more and more popular.
It's actually based on Italians, so...
Okay. But Mario is also based on Italians then.
Italian Americans. There is a difference, but...
Okay.
I'm just contrary.
You see what I'm working with here, folks? I'm trying to lay the groundwork, and he keeps knocking it down.
But no, I get what you're saying. Things like Pizza Tower, Undertale, they were new IPs, and they went on to be extremely successful.
Yeah.
I get a lot of the companies being fearful of wanting to create a new IP. Because if it fails, that's money they lose.
Yeah.
But,
And I feel like a game like Goodbye... it hasn't come out yet, but there's a game coming out called Goodbye Volcano High that I find rather appealing. I've seen the trailers. They look fun, but that has, as you said, on certain comment section, they get a lot of hate. So just appealing to a certain generation is not automatically gonna work out.
Yeah.
Just gotta make it good. And I hope Volcano High is good. But
just appeal to the furries. That's how you get the most market share. Stray Souls.
You're out of line, but you're not wrong.
Speaking of furries, Stray is a game. No. Stray Souls.
Man, that was a stretch.
So this is a new psychological horror game that's being released for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and the PC. Mm-hmm. It is touted to have essentially a randomizer system that will make each playthrough unique. And it's set to come out later this year. It's actually being made in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, I think that was the big selling point. But I think
here it says Unreal Engine 5. So
cool. But I think there was some more stuff, more info.
I was gonna play the trailer, but because the trailer's locked behind an 18+, or rather a 17+, viewing wall, I decided against it. Yeah. So I just included this screenshot from the game because I thought it was a pretty shot.
Okay, I'll at least bring up the premise here.
Okay.
Teenager Daniel's grandmother has died and left him her house. Totally debt-free, no mortgage, so better situation than I am. So good job, Daniels. But the real estate dream... Well, I mean, other than losing your grandma. I'm sorry about that.
Good job losing your grandma, Daniels.
All right. But the real estate dream quickly turns into a nightmare when the sun goes down and all hell starts to break loose in the house. Jukai will be the company is Jukai, or the Jukai Studios is the company making it, and they have previously made Versus Evil, I believe. Still haven't played that one yet, but by all means, I've just looked at some still images here. Definitely. Okay, one character looks a bit like David Schwimmer, like young David Schwimmer. You know what?
I don't know who David Schwimmer is.
From Friends.
I've never watched Friends.
Okay.
Disgusting show.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm drowning here, folks. This is a nightmare for me, but it's okay. It's okay.
Although, actually, show me him again.
Okay.
Which character did he play? If he was one of the characters that's mean
have
a
you,
lot, I might
have you seen you've seen Madagascar, right? David Schwimmer is the voice of the giraffe guy.
Okay.
And this guy kind of looks
funny.
it kind of looks like David Schwimmer, but like, not as tall. Mr. Schwimmer is a very tall guy.
He's a very tall guy. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna show him a picture just so.
But it's using a randomizer system, similar to what fans have made for games like Resident Evil or, heck, Zelda. Zelda randomizers are really fun.
This is David Schwimmer.
Okay, I know him then.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, he does look like a young him.
Yeah, and here is also Jennifer Aniston. See, they were both on the show Friends. Yeah. I didn't watch Friends that much, but I'd watched it a while. But like that was one of the biggest shows of the '90s, so I had to have watched it. It was required. It was by law.
And so, speaking of psychological, or rather just horror games, have you ever watched the show Friends? No.
Only a couple episodes.
The actual horror segue is for, what was it, Evil Dead?
Yes, the images are a bit similar to Evil Dead, but also a little bit of the Silent Hill thing.
You wanted to bring up that article that discussed Capcom's.
Well, okay, so
I didn't put it in the slideshow.
Okay, so let me get my little thing out. But
I figured it could just be Jordan's rambling point, and
I keep thinking about wanting to do a video series that's all about my favorite franchises that nobody's doing anything right now. And I would definitely say Dead Rising is one of them. At the very least, the first 3 or 4-ish, if you count the.
Sorry, I can't
whatever.
right with kaiju.
Okay. Almost spelled it right the first time. But anyway, Dead Rising, at one point, was the second big Capcom zombie franchise that they were huge. Games don't company like anymore. Yep. And again, for a while, it was a big hit. It was basically the idea of zombies overrunning a mall, and this one reporter guy, how the hell have I forgotten? Oh, sorry, I forgot his name. It was Frank. Yeah, Frank. At least he was the main character in at least 2 or 3 Dead Rising games. For a while, they did have different protagonists in it, and the protagonist in Dead Rising 2 was a little similar to Joel from Last of Us. Maybe not as kill happy as Joel, but definitely was he's running around the country, or running around the zombie infested area with his daughter, who is immune, and is trying to protect her from all this stuff. So yeah, it very much Dead Rising 2 was the precursor to Last of Us, and unfortunately, that character and that little girl has only appeared in 1 game, but it was a really good game, and I feel very bad for getting their names. But it has been a while since Capcom did anything with this franchise, partly because for a while they did the freaking Assassin's Creed route of releasing a game every year, and people got sick of it, including Capcom Vancouver, who were the team making the Dead Rising games. They begged and pleaded Capcom Japan to make anything else. Mega Man, Dino Crisis, Rival Schools. They begged to do something else besides zombies, and Capcom Japan said, no, you keep doing Dead Rising. And the last one, Dead Rising 4 at 2016, was pretty bad. And a lot of the original team of Capcom Vancouver left midway through, so yeah, it was a big mess, just all around. But the thing is, the reason why I'm bringing up Dead Rising right now is because Resident Evil 4 Remake is coming out soon, and there are a couple games that Capcom has I would also like to see be remade. Code Veronica, I think, is an underrated entry in the series that I'd love to see given a remake. Dino Crisis, again, I'm going to keep mentioning it because I love me some Dino Crisis. And I think that strongly needs a remake. But if there's one other thing that is under Capcom's belt that is zombie related, and was a hit for a while, that could use the RE engine treatment, I think Dead Rising is definitely one of them. Especially since Dead Rising's mechanics were you could grab any kind of item in a mall and either put them on immediately or customize it or combine it with other weapons and everything. And it really allowed, it made all kinds of fun combat stuff against the zombies you were facing off. And also there was a little bit of a weird cult thing going on, or at least there was a cult that believed the zombies were the true saviors and everything. It was the whole thing, and it was a whole other thing. But
the whole thing.
It's a whole lore thing. But yeah, I'd say Dead Rising, while its end was not pretty, rather gruesome, if you will, I think it is a franchise that deserves a return. And I think a remake would be the best thing for it. So that was my segment. That was, my little, whatever we're calling this. But I love talking about old things.
Jordan's Kearnor.
This is the, gaming at the retirement.
With your name. Gaming at the retirement home.
Man, you kids, man, we were gaming in my day. Real games.
No,
and none of them DLCs or them pay-to-wins, like you kids do.
She's looking at you. She's like, what's wrong with you?
I don't know, Kaiju. I don't even know.
She's like, I was sleeping and you got loud.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Nah, you didn't get loud.
Okay, so.
So, there are some new Nintendo Switch Online games. I use the term new loosely. It is Kirby's Dream Land 2, the Game Boy, Burger Time Deluxe for the Game Boy, Side Pocket for the Super Nintendo, and Xevious for the NES. And I figured we'd go ahead and watch this.
I mean, I have a Kirby shirt on, and I think I told.
This is Zelda's shirt.
No, I had a Kirby shirt the other night.
Oh, okay.
And I definitely told Kim, but I don't know if I told you, like, a lot of them gave me compliments for the shirt.
Nice.
So that's why, like, thanks Kirby for
getting Kirby people over there on the shelf.
Thank you, Kirby, for getting people like me. Oh, it's Bob Belcher. How's it going, dude? Love your show.
I was really confused as to what you were playing as. Is this Pizza Tower?
Burger Time.
I know what it actually is.
I know, but it's like Pizza Tower is actually a lot faster. It's
a lot faster.
No, actually, it's like some of the levels on Pizza Tower are built kind of like Sonic levels. Honestly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just a simple billiards game.
Played it before. I don't think this particular one, but it's not too different. Great. Oh yeah. Love these kind of games. I'm not sure if this particular game was ever in arcades, but I remember playing a game like this. Oh, there's plenty of like
1942 stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Those are fun.
Ah!
Oh, well.
Don't look.
Oh dear.
So, potentially stolen assets.
Oh no, what happened?
I saw it, baby girl. We gotta lift you up. So there is a Souls-like indie game called Bleak Faith Forsaken. And it has been accused of using stolen From Software assets. Now, if you look here, we've got Elden Ring on the left and
the game
Bleak
I still want to play
Faith on the right. And just look at this.
Yep.
And if you look at the animation, that is where it's... Because it's extremely...
And not to be that guy, but the background in Bleak Faith is a little too similar to the, Bloodborne backgrounds. Though then again, there's a lot of games that have like old, worn-out, Victorian kind of looks to them. So, but it's like it's like
a generic background.
Yeah, but it's like if you're already having animation looking similar to another game's animation, and then the background is very similar to that game's studio's background.
So what happened was Archangel Studios, the studio behind Bleak Faith, bought the assets from the Unreal Engine marketplace. However, Epic has released a statement claiming that they can't verify every item in the marketplace, especially when they're sold by third parties, as this one was. It's essentially buyer beware. And so, as such, it's weird because Epic removed it from the marketplace, and then Archangel, in good faith, removed the assets from their game, and they are working on replacing them. But basically, they've warned other indie developers, you can't trust that what you're buying from the Unreal Engine marketplace is able to be legally used.
I mean, I think the more I hear about Epic and of Unreal Engine, comes off as a little shady. What they
the marketplace.
Yeah, marketplace. Yeah.
The Unreal Engine itself is a very robust programming
Yeah.
studio, and I'm actually going to learn it with my game dev studio.
Nice.
So I won't, Unreal Engine itself didn't have anything to do with this being in the wrong.
No,
it was the marketplace. And in fact,
Yeah.
it was actually third parties.
Yeah.
That said, Epic really needs to put in some sort of check.
Yeah.
It can't just be a, we'll take you at your word thing.
Mm-hmm.
Walmart has that same problem. Nope, don't do it. Don't do it!
Keep going upstairs.
No, baby, no!
And I do want to say something in terms of, like, I don't think
Grumpy.
if you have a character in your game that has a big sword or staff swinging around, it's not automatically stealing from that. Let me make that clarify, because the internet can be real, like, gung-ho with using terms like that's a ripoff or that's stealing or you're just copying. Like, guys, it's not too, certainly some ideas I think are of public domain.
Yeah, like big swords. But in this case, when you compare them side by side, how close they are, it's too much of a coincidence.
That becomes the problem, yeah.
So, they're working on getting that replaced. So it's not like they intentionally stole. They paid for it. There's no way they intentionally stole it.
No, it's just
They were probably like, hey, that looks like a Souls type animation. Let's buy it. And it did look like it because it was one.
Yeah, it's too simple. Like,
The
whole, like,
you
gotta be careful. If you're copying somebody's homework, you gotta really change things around to make sure the teacher don't notice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, only did the teacher notice. The rest of the class, the rest of the class was like, okay, you're not even hiding this.
So, Pokemon NFTs. NFTs are really sour for me right now because my best friend's Twitter account got hacked by a freaking crypto bro.
I'm sorry, man.
And it's just so annoying. We've reported the account as stolen, but I don't know if he can actually get it back because this hacker went and changed the email associated. I don't even know why he stole Shiny's Twitter. It's not like Shiny has a ton of followers.
I'm sorry, dude. And tell Shiny I'm
Stop
sorry.
that. Anyway, so a recent job for a corporate development principal at the Pokemon Company has been making the rounds lately. This listing is seeking out NFT individuals. Excuse me. Now, thankfully, this doesn't mean Pokemon is going to become solely NFTs, but it is a little worrying that they're showing interest. And on the right side, you can actually see some of what they're looking for from the listing.
Mm-hmm.
Deep knowledge and understanding of Web3.
Yes.
And they want them to be deeply connected to a network of investors and entrepreneurs.
I guess I'm more confused than angry because this ain't 2021 anymore. Like, we have seen crypto companies, like, go bankrupt, even be arrested. The CEOs of certain companies get arrested for scandals.
It just happened at, what, FTX?
Yes, that's the thing I was mentioning. Yes. The company that bought that ad that featured the guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm being like, I don't know if this is a good idea or not. And he was correct. That was not a good idea. So that is shady as crap. But like, but again, it seems to be NFTs used to be is the one thing the entire internet agrees on that it is terrible.
See, but the entire internet doesn't agree. There's that subset that thinks it's the greatest thing.
Okay, so a 10% is cool with NFTs, but fuck them.
It's okay. We don't have to edit it out.
Okay. All right, but I'm still divided on whether I am still mad at NFTs, but right now I am divided on whether NFTs are still the worst or AI art is the worst, or at the very least, if websites that helps make AI art super easy to do, because all they're doing is stealing art from around the internet.
And that is becoming an even bigger issue. To go on a tangent, I was browsing the internet today, and I saw where somebody has a tutorial on how to take sketch commissions you get from artists and turn them into full rendered art. And it is, it's the way to get the cheapest drawing possible and then make it like you paid full price. And it's just the shadiest thing. And they list words not to use when you're doing the AI generation, and that includes things such as signatures, watermarks, basically anything that would identify it as stolen. So thankfully, we've got a couple solutions incoming. Mainly the grain thing, where it overlays your image with a grainy sort of something. It messes up the AI process, and it doesn't recognize the image good enough. And it's not just AI replacing artists that's concerning. It's AI replacing anyone that's concerning.
Yes. But also, but unfortunately, the artists are the first ones to be hurt by this.
Well, not necessarily, but they are the ones that people seem to care the least about. And it's like, this is affecting everyone. This is affecting writers, artists. I guess writers are artists.
Yes.
It's affecting lawyers because they're writing their briefs using AI, and it's just... People are going to lose their job because of AI, and it's not going to be the utopia that it was supposed to be when robots took over production. AI was supposed to make things easier for us so that we could pursue arts, and not take over the arts so we could pursue slaving away at a corporation 45 hours a week. And
that's the key of it all, is a lot of, the people that are supporting this, some are just blissfully ignorant to the whole thing, being like, what's the problem? What's this thing? But there are some people who are actively pushing this so that they don't have to pay artists, a reasonable payment. So they can just skimp out and be like, oh, I can get a computer to do this, and, just screw all the bells and whistles or any of the,
No! Stop it! No, but...
Is my hand movement, is that causing your hand?
Nope. Okay. There's people outside. I heard it.
Okay.
Stop that. Okay. I won't be. Stop that.
Okay. It's gonna be okay.
We're almost done, Kaiju. So, yes. Sony is concerned about Microsoft.
Ooh, is this the 2000s all over again?
So, Sony has filed a complaint with the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK. Basically, it's like the equivalent of... I don't know what the American equivalent is, but basically it's to avoid monopolies and stuff. Like FTC, I think? The FTC. The Federal Trade Commission. So they claim that if Microsoft is allowed to buy up Activision Blizzard, then they will have too firm a grip on the market. Quote, Microsoft's conduct in relation to the ZeniMax acquisition provides additional evidence of why a behavioral commitment should be approached with caution, as Microsoft has promised investors that it doesn't have intentions of pulling all of Bethesda's contents out of competitor platforms, but so far all the first-party Bethesda games have been pulled out of competitor platforms.
Yeah, I mean, they can say it all they want, but Microsoft's going to want the majority of Bethesda's profits.
So far, The Elder Scrolls 6, Starfall, the whatever Fallout game comes next, those are all going to be on Xbox, and hopefully PC, at least for me. But
I'll say that they have been doing a good job of allowing things to be available on PC.
I mean, there's one thing to have first party exclusives. That's fine.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think it's too big a deal if Microsoft buys up Activision Blizzard, because it's not like those. Not like they really make a bunch of good games anymore.
You don't want to hear my thoughts. Well, you've all heard a lot of my thoughts of Activision. And the saddest part is they used to make some really good Marvel games in the past, or some of my favorite Marvel games when I was growing up. But
they used to make games like Spyro and Crash.
Well, let's be real. It was Insomniac and Naughty Dog that were making those games. Activision bought the rights to those later.
That's true.
Yeah, so I want to make that also clear.
That's a good point. Thank you for clearing that up.
And
so, Lance Reddick,
mm-hmm.
So I didn't know him by name, but
he was a familiar face for me because
when I saw his face,
yeah.
Now I'm a believer.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, his voice is also very iconic.
Oh, it's so great. So great.
And he touched the hearts of a lot of people.
Yeah.
He would interact with fans, especially in the Destiny 2 fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really heartwarming to read about because I didn't have that personal experience, but I understand how it hits a lot of them. A lot of the shows he's been known for include John Wick. Well, I guess that's a movie, but series. No. The Wire and Fringe.
And another thing is he was the voice of Ra's al Ghul in the Beware the Batman series.
Okay.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job as Ra's al Ghul, and I was, secretly hoping that with James Gunn's new DCU that he'd come in, not maybe say as Ra's al Ghul, but maybe some other villainous character, he would have crushed it. But
he just crushes villain characters.
Yeah, but also
I think he also played Albert Wesker.
Yes, he did.
Resident Evil, and I know you don't like the Resident Evil. But
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I can see him playing Albert.
Yeah, it's
a very fitting role for him.
It's the idea of him being Albert Wesker is not a bad idea,
It's just a bad movie or series.
Yeah, it's a bad series. Yeah, and just.
But it wasn't his fault.
No.
Some of the games were Destiny 2, Quantum Break, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Jordan's pulling up some more as I speak.
Oh, yeah. Well, I had the IMDb page here a moment ago, but...
it accidentally got kicked out.
It's okay. And also, he was the voice of Thordak in Legends of Vox Machina.
Oh.
So that's game-related. Played a couple episodes. And also there's a Batman podcast series called Batman Unburied where he played the voice of Thomas Wayne, so another Batman thing. And apparently he was in a small role in Godzilla vs. Kong, so that's cool. Oh yeah, he was the voice of the ship captain in the Castlevania anime series.
Oh wow!
And he was a fun character. He had some great speeches. The thing I can't do. And he was Lunarius in the DuckTales series, the
Really?
Yes, Lunarius. Yeah.
I need to rewatch that series.
It's really good.
Finished it once But unfortunately, Lance did pass away. Mr. Reddick passed away March 16th, 2023, at the age of 60. He looks incredibly well for someone who is 60.
Oh, yeah, still.
But that
still
being
great.
said, 60 isn't really old, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And it's currently believed that he died because of natural causes.
Yeah.
And it was actually really harrowing to see that in Destiny 2, his character is located at this place called the Tower. Yeah. And there were thousands of players who were just paying their respects at the Tower.
Good.
Saluting him.
Yeah. One other comic book thing that he's done, well, mainly it was a Marvel thing. He was the voice of Sam Wilson in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers series, which only been a couple episodes, but he was really good in that. And again, it's just everything. He was always giving it his all in every role he did, and I will forever appreciate him on that. And we are certainly going to miss. I am most certainly going to miss him.
He never half-baked anything. And that brings us to our last story. A little bit of a happier note to end on. So Nintendo UK had recently put out surveys for customers who had bought Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah.
And as you can see, this is only a snippet of the survey. I didn't actually get the survey, so I took this from Twitter. But the options were many people were talking and getting excited about it. Seems like a good way to pass the time until Metroid Prime 4 releases. I am a huge Metroid fan and get all the games. It received good reviews. Obviously, you would just click all of them.
Absolutely, yes.
This is actually the first time, apparently, Nintendo has publicly mentioned Prime 4 since 2019, when they announced that development had been completely restarted.
Yeah, and I believe we covered a story about how there were shakeups in
We did.
retro game studios, how like they've had to change new management.
And you can watch that video in the playlist. I'm not digging it out. I'm sorry.
I might hunt it down. I might just.
If you hunt it down and you comment it, I will pin the comment. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
And there are also hopes that this, alongside existing rumors, means we will get remasters of Prime 2 and 3.
Yes.
Which, I don't know, might be a good way to pass the time until Metroid Prime 4 releases.
Or just, make
general.
good games even better, Also a good idea. Or just make it games that we haven't played in a while. Let it be easier for people to find.
Make them more accessible.
Yeah.
Plus, more money for Nintendo, just saying.
Win-win, Nintendo. Win-win.
And that is actually the end of our show.
Okay. Hey, you.
So, it was a short show, but it was a show.
We didn't have that much to cover.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow news week.
I've been thinking about, there's been like small trailers for Tekken characters, because like they're not doing the same thing that the Street Fighter's doing, where for Tekken they're releasing like individual like 2-minute long trailers for the characters they're announcing, and I thought about that, but I imagine that'd get super annoying, especially for you, because you're not the biggest video fighting game fan.
If you want to do a separate video on that, we can post it. I can get it as long as it's a short video and you have the video figured out. I can edit it. If I have to go around and find clips and do extensive editing, like for example with the Batman video, I just don't have the time for that. But
okay, well, I might do at least the first 10 characters they announced. I feel like that could be a nice good breakup. There'll probably be a lot more than that later on, but at least it'd be like, here are the first 10 they announced. Here's their look and my thoughts on them. Because and while I'm not the biggest Tekken fan, like it's a series I have played on and off. Definitely the 2 tag tournament games that came out are my favorite fighting games. So at least I have some familiarity with this franchise, and by all means, as a fighting game fan, it's cool seeing that we're getting a new Street Fighter game, a new Tekken game, and they have confirmed a Mortal Kombat 12 is happening. I'm not sure if it's going to be released this year, maybe next year, but it's cool that those are the big 3 in terms of fighting game franchises. No offense to the King of Fighter fans, but it's not that big here in America, sadly. SNK has tried, but other than Terry Bogard, do you know any other King of Fighter characters?
Yeah, I know the whole roster.
Well, we got all day.
Yeah.
This is your video. Let's go ahead. King of Fighters roster.
There's Alba, Mira, Angel, Ash, Crimson. See, I know the characters. Bow.
I think I like that you misspelled it wrong.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris is one of them.
Yeah, okay, look, it's hard to type with a puppy in your arms.
It's cool. I'm not hating. I'm still not gonna be one of those you're not a real fighter. You're not a real game. I'm never gonna be that guy, ever.
I'm not a huge fighting game person. I like Smash Brothers, but that's pretty much the extent of mine. It's not because they're bad games. They're just not my games. I play games like Professor Layton.
Well, also,
to see him in a fighting game would be cool. We've already seen Phoenix Wright in a fighting game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. For me, it's shooters. I've tried a few times. I got relatives who love the shooty gun bullets ones, the Call of Duties, and the Battlefields, but they don't appeal to me. So I get there's people who aren't appealed to fighting games. So I get it.
It's all a matter of taste, isn't that right, Kaiju?
Yes.
Isn't that right? And so, a couple announcements. One, Xander's still part of the channel. We just haven't made videos. Yeah. We're thinking about switching to releasing a gaming video every once in a while, but long form, an hour or 2.
Yeah. Should I go ahead and say it?
What?
That I won't be here next week because I'll be out of town. But I swear to you, I know I've said I'm going to do this or do that, but I really do want to make a video about my thoughts on The Last of Us because, yes, the series is good. Yes, spoiler warning, the show is real good. And I actually feel passionate about making a video about it, but it's going to have to be after next weekend. Okay? So that's your thoughts. That's the update I have right now. Good luck to you and Xander. Whatever. I
think he's going to do a Breath of the Wild video next.
Okay, cool.
So we'll try to get that taken care of. No promises on when it's going to come out. Life's just been too busy for us to continue the way we had been.
I get it.
We'll keep doing these podcasts every weekends that Jordan's here. Yeah. Since he's not going to be here next weekend, Xander and I might do like a trivia thing, like the real-time trivia or whatever. Because Xander enjoyed that.
Yep.
And nope. As always, thank you for watching and stay cool.
And go green or go home.